All right, welcome to the lab. Today I am gonna be finishing up this server provision and configuration architecture that I've been working on a little bit with Claude and OpenAI, but I'm running out of tokens, so we're gonna be doing some Caveman style coding today. I'm gonna be writing code by hand, so that is gonna be fun. All right, so the project right now should let a user create a server. We then add some details. We then provision the server for the provider. Then we ask for some DNS details. And once we have those, we go over to the configuration setup where we install bash scripts. So I kind of just want to track the events of this process and then add a starter and completer for each element. And then finally, we also need to update the operational status so that once we have the server being secure with SSS hardening and we have installed the agent that is yet to be built, we can ping it for a status update and then go from there. And then the user can actually start deploying applications to this server. So I have this gigantic PR. That's way too big for anything I would normally do, but since we are just exploring this setup right now, I think it's fine to just do huge PR. So most of this is done. What I want to deal with is the workers for configure and provision, so we have the correct flow. All right, I think that's enough intro. Let me jump into queue, workers, and then start with provisioning server. We have Slugify that's not used. It's also weird because we have a library that does that, so it doesn't really matter. We set a timeout of 10 minutes. That seems reasonable. All right. Then the work. So we find the server. We pass the encryption key. So right now it's only my env variable that we use. No, that doesn't matter, right? No, I am misremembering. Then we generate this for the customer and then for Miflon. So I want to have, once this is all provisioned and configured, we show a screen to the user where it's like, here is your server access details. Please download this PDF, save it somewhere, and then we delete everything. So there's no server or there's no user access details in the database. We do store our SSH key for Miflon to use in terms of backup if something goes wrong. Which is also what Laravel 4 do, so I'm assuming people will be fine with it, but I mean, don't really know until we do it. So what I want to probably start with is going to controllers and servers, where we have, so we need to start here with create server details. We set up the server's details and this is fine, and then we create it. And then we say confirm, and then we set provision, and then we what do we actually update the server with here? Nothing. All of this is already dead, right? We don't need all of this, but I could technically use, we need to create a provisioning event, right? So that we here, do we use the cookie somewhere? We do, right? And we need to grab the context and then this dbcon. And do some error handling. Yes. So in here, when we create the server, we might actually, should we just set it here so it's pending? I think that actually makes more sense. Right, so in here we set it to server pending. Right, in provision. And I deleted app cookie. That is cookies get right. Yeah, should probably do some check on that, but that shouldn't really be an issue. Right, so this is started, and we only have create. So we create, and then we also need an update, right? Update, yes. You go, Copilot, looks good. Right. And we have the server ID. So we could technically also add some metadata about. No, doesn't matter right now. Am I still on the? All right. So in models, provision, we just have an type. Yes, there we go. Ah, beautiful. It's like whenever you have examples for it to follow, it's great. You know, curious. We do not want to set started, only completed while updating. Preview latest. I mean, we could rely on that, right? But should probably just be, what is it I do? By ID. By E, and we want ID equal to yes. Generate. And create update. And this one has the right ones. Status, yeah. And then bind. Yes. Did I screw up the queries? Provision. Vale. And then it just becomes event. Good. And in queue jobs provision server. We also want the server provision. Yes. And then in controllers, servers, provision. Come on, my guy. We find it. We create it and then we insert. We also need the provision. Yep. Right. And then we redirect the provisioning where we pull the data in. So now I'm going to view worker provision. And then in here, then we want to say if error models update server provision events, and we don't want started, we want completed. I could technically just not have the status as well and just have like a, yeah, that probably doesn't really matter. So now this one is completed. And then controller server, I want to have to start one. No. What is this? This is just CTX here, and then database. It should probably just be DB. That's fine. Then we need job arts ID, and it's no longer pending. It's provisioning. In here, CTX, and we return an error message. Great, then we grab then we generate the keys. Don't need that. Maybe technically don't really need So in here we provision, right? And then after here it's created, that is also right. But the code is a little bit weird. I don't know if I want status or operation. Because does it really encode what I want to encode here? Because I technically just want to say what is the server provish event that then has what status pending and then started at I don't know 12 p.m. And then here we either have completed at I don't know 09. So this is what and then I want the failure. Where this one should then be what did we have? Error of fail. Where did I put this? Status fails. Right. And then only if we are up here. We only continue to the next one, right? If we are up here. So this one would then be what status? Provisioning. And this is then success. And if you fail to provision down here, we can technically restart it, right? But up here, if this one fails, come on, copy this, yes. So this one, right? And then we need to have something from the user. User inputs. And that doesn't really work here, right? So we can say could technically also just leave out completed ads. Right, so we have something like provision events. So it's so status is simply just so it's pending, in progress, or completed. And then we would have operation that would be similar to what we have now in one of these. So maybe we just do initiate. I don't know, we have this provisioning created, and then we do not have failed because this is the status of the event. Don't really know what I want to do here, to be honest. Let me actually get some input here. Can't use high anymore. This table. Where I need to track the provisioning progress, similar to this. I need to have a way to store the start and end for an operation, so I can see how far we came in the process and encode and store any errors. The relevant code is in controllers, servers, and queue workers. right? So the status is pending. We have not started this provisioning yet. Maybe also just don't need the just need to have the status and then the start. Because failed only makes sense if we have like a grouping table, right? So everyone inside of here relates to server provision table. Let's see what the AI overlords want me to do. When it gets back to me, I'm also at a very high usage on my plan, so I'll maybe run out soon. So just maybe just create it at right. And then it's just failure, and then we can just look at the what do they want? I think we only want single attempts. Yes. I feel like I'm trying to do too much in the I think I'm trying to do too much in one table. So instead of having it should probably just be created at metadata, yes, error message, yes. And then operation, yeah. And then text error message can always be like where we failed, I guess. No, I need feedback on the table structure. I think it's doing too much at the moment. I don't think started at and completed at makes sense without our grouping table like server provisions. So what I'm debating if we should just have ID operation, ID created ads operation, error message, metadata, and server ID. I don't really think we should update events as well. That model is weird, which this kind of requires. Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about, my guy? Suggested. I just don't. Events table needs started and completed at. It should record events in a chronological order so we can track what happened and when. I mean, this feels more. This feels more correct. Status pending. Created ads. Created ads. That's right. 1202 error. In that case, we probably shouldn't call it server provisioning. right? Then it makes a lot more sense to update it instead of just having the events. Yeah. Yeah, don't. So yeah, let's go with server provision steps at yeah. Cool. No. Only. Yes. Ah, that looks. I think that looks good. Let me grab this. Oh. And then we jump out. Why? What did we call it? Provisioning steps. Why am I not? Come on. Are we not copying this to database migrations? Provisioning events. Come on. Can I actually? What? All right. Yeah. Provision steps. Come on. ID, yes. There we go. So yes. And formatting. Started at, completed at, goes up here. And this. Yep. And then I need to say not null, constraints. References, cascades. Nice, and then dual. DB. Really need to rework these commands. Database migrations. Events is now steps. Provision steps, and there we go. I like attempt. Oh, attempt ID instead. Right. Yes. So jump into models, server provisioning events. Comes this. Right. So PLs are ID started at, completed at, and then attempt ID status, yeah, and operation. Oh. This is gonna be a server provision step status and operation. And then these status, right? Actually, this is the operation, not the status we have here now. Then step. Step status, no. Enum, yeah, let's just call it enum. And we are no longer in events, we are in events step. Which is on this one. Let me just call this enums. Come on. Yeah. Yes. Yes, and this is just this as an empty string, and this is also where goes way to do the enums. It's kind of not good. It is not good. Right. Server provision step up. Why can't I spell operation? Operation. Enums. Enum singular, yes. And this is now, instead of status, it's operation. Yes. And then the same for this. What is this music? Let's try to do some lo-fi instead. Right. And then in migrations, what did we have? Model. So we have queued, provisioning, created and failed. Could add one here for... No, this is good. And then this one is no longer pending, it's huge. And then I need a whole another one of these, so it's now status enum. We only have guess we only have in progress, right? And then completed. And then failed. So this is status. Yeah. And this is no longer operation. This is status. No, just status, please. In progress, completed, and then failed. Pass. Server provision step. Status. What do we call it down here? I don't really know what you mean. Snaggle fluster. Sorry. Can you give me another example of what you're trying to say? server provision status enums. No, this is not status. This is still open. Yeah, we want to have viewed provisioning created failed, right? Okay, I just need to update these. Progress, nice. So server provision step status enums, and we want to have, so we have in progress completed and failed. Okay, dude. Okay, I think the enums are in place now. We have the status, we have the operation. Started at, completed at. Let me just and then we need to query server provision. That needs to be steps. And it's end of event. It's deb, right? And then instead of underscore, no, just events, it's steps. Right. And then I don't need server. So we want started at completed.
Slave to the rhythm of victim shackled in chains. These veins long for the pleasure and pain. This rain gives me came for the fix, left with a wrist covered in gold. Became a mold of a
Right.
nigga. Poison into my system. The system is like a prison. Lovely land of the free, but this dream is a contradiction. We listen to the media and all them lies they feeding us.
Yes.
Us in the streets, so we threw graffiti up. People message
And then the status completed at. Status attempt ID we don't really need, right?
Young kings, beautiful queens, slain in broad light. Got me thinking if my color's wrong, how can I do right? Yeah, should I fight or should I fucking fall? Will you watch me die or answer a dying call? I'm small, but I can cause a big impact. I just want us all to live in peace. Why can't we have that?
Mm-hmm. I think this, and then by ID, by server ID, query latest by server ID, and then also add one query by query provision steps by attempt ID. We want many and attempt ID. Queries generates. Where did I have that in database? Queries. What am I? There we go. So now in my controller, in my provision, here, okay, I need to update all of this. So all of the event in here becomes step. And this here, we need to have both status and operation. And here we just need status. Yeah. And I want one for by attempt ID. Come on, query by there we go. Attempt ID. Right, and then the create. We don't want completed ads. Guess error messages is fine. Metadata is also fine. Where did I leave? Here. Great, so we do not have completed ads. Gonna be data. Attempt ID. We can't use the. We cannot use the server ID, right? Yes. Don't need. Oh, maybe we do. Just pass server ID and then the metadata we need to. I can just pass metadata like this. Update it. We don't need. Yeah, we just need this, right? Yeah. And all the other things I think look great. So now in servers, controllers, servers, provision. Yeah, create server. Create, there we go. Server ID status is progress. This one is what did I call it? Queued, right? Queued. And we are time now. Let's go in and get rid of completed. No error message and no metadata for now. Guess I can just do like an attempt ID and then we chuck it in. Ah, it's right here. Attempt ID. And then in here, we don't want this. We want attempt ID. Which now also becomes attempt ID. And this is attempt ID. Right. Do I want to just get the latest? Because then in queries, server, permission step, get query latest permission step by attempt ID. Right. Models provision step is the latest. This one. By attempt ID. like this. Great, because now in worker provision server, I can go in here and say provision what's it called? Huge models finds there we go, and if we do not get it, then we have an issue. So models update server provision step. It goes to data. Fill it and no, that is completed. But it's also very hard to get into this state right here. We shouldn't really be able to start this before we've committed the transaction, right? Good. So we then create a new one. Provisioning step will be no, don't delete it all. It will be step status in progress and operation and attempt ID. Provisioning. So we start, we generate the keys. And let me just comment out this. And also comment out this, so probably need to make a failing. And then we get down to wait here. And let me get rid of all of this. So we have this, and then after here, why do we have so many commits? This is then provisioning step, completed, yes. This one is again gonna be where to there. So we wait for ready, and then here before we say wait for ready, right? And then we want another one. is gonna be very... No. Get rid of that. Go back. And we just say created step and don't like the name. So we do this and then we update it afterwards with this. Get rid of this and get rid of all of these tx2s for some reason. And then we set to is provisioned yes, and then we return tx commit 2. I guess let me also just add provision step failed. Just returns and come on an error. And then we need to always update. And we can just grab this. And return where we need context. We need the ID. So this is just ID and this is failed. And we also want an error message. Right. So all of this is just if we can't update this, right? Update the logging here. Provision step failed. Right. Let's get rid of the lock here, and then here we will say if error does not equal nil, log it, then fail the job. I guess we might as well just generate these when we begin. The controller servers provision. but no. Just leave those in. And if we have an error, can't pronounce it. Yes. And here as well. Right, because the last one is provisioning. Start the transaction. And yeah, and then we generate these. We store them, good. And I mean, this is gonna be more like for my own sake, I think for now. Then we have the create step. Again, it's gonna be the create step, update it. And then after this one, we're gonna say like this. And then we return nil. So that we in here can say did I update all models is step? And what about database? Is it also step? Nice. And then my queries step. So I guess the only thing missing is update the factories, but we don't have one for this one. Okay, and all doctor. Right. Internal, and then this one does not exist anymore. Good provision services. Don't really know why we have to should be able to reuse these. Yeah, and the logic here is also wrong. You just use in progress. This needs to be attempt ID. And then all of these need to be step. Steps, please. And then we have it's gonna be operation. I mean, it's complicating a little bit further. How long have we been going for? 1 hour 25. Yeah, I'm gonna take a short break and then jump back in like 30 minutes, I think. All right, welcome back to the graveyard shift. Gonna be finishing up this server provisioning, hopefully the stream. So, what we did in the stream that I had like 20 minutes ago is we re-ramped we had this server provision events that got turned into server provision steps, so we can have a start and end date, start and ended ads, and then I turned the provisioning work so we follow on each step. So that should actually be good to go right now. I think the only missing part here is that when we click provision, where is it? We redirect to the server ID, which is not what we want. We want to use the attempt ID. And what is that? So this is going to be attempt ID instead. And in here we want to pass the attempt ID. Right. So we are no longer doing find server. We are going to be doing find right? Are we pulling? We are pulling it in here. So do we even need? I don't even think we need the server here. Only when we do this part. Right. So in here we actually need the server. Which, what do we return here? We return why can't we? Okay, we are doing this. Then I need to pull out the server. Which for now, let's just do it here. UID, UUID. UID nil. Or UID like this. Same here. And here can we steps? We should have the server ID. Steps. Is that not on? What is it talking about? We do. Latest. Makes sense. This and then controller, server, then pass server ID here, and then it's just find server. And we want to have the encryption key that is on server. Right. Okay. So and dual make db make up. We say and dual db seeds. No. That is because if we go into factories and deployments. What was the issue? Make resets. DB seeds. So it is in deployment. We have must pass. All right. That is definitely not what we want. Triggered by why is that not? To do should be and then here we will say ID error pass the ID like this. Must pass the ID. And path ID. Okay. So, what is when we are creating an API service? And then in here, should have Alice. Okay, there's also some work to get done here on deployments. Triggered by is a new ID, but there's no. Okay. Let's just say UID new for now. No, again. Your ID new string, thanks. Yes. Come on. Right. Can we see it now? Again. We only have the flash key, nice. So user sign in, and then we do alice@ahmed.com, password 123. Servers, no. Admin servers new. Let's say API server. Hetzner. And I need to fix the domain. Because we need the base. So for example, it can be mvvlabs.com, and then we will take the slug of the server that is unique, and then the way we're gonna talk to the agent is gonna be through this with like an agent at the end, I think. Yes, we want Falkenstein, and let's just get a small one. Create server and localhost river jobs. We have no jobs running as expected. So if you say provision server now, not found, right? But we created a job that is also server location is disabled. All right, so I need to update the controller for provision. We redirect to server provisioning. And that goes to server provisioning. Right. This is not server ID, this is we are not sending the server ID, we are sending the server ID and we're only sending attempt ID. So maybe this one instead of should be attempt. And server ID, and I should be able to say new route with multiple ID. Takes a path, a name, and we fix. And now in the connect, all is good. But in controllers, there we go. It now wants a map. So map string and string to be not string but UUID. And why don't we want this? What are you talking about? Server.id is that we have server. What is it you're complaining about? UUID. Right. So in provisioning, not provisioning status, but in this one, both the so this one what server the provisioning so this is both server and attempt ID like this, and then we use attempt ID in here instead. So now if I go out and say dual temple generate controller servers here wants to also pass in attempt ID, attempt ID, and this one is actually server ID. Then yes, and delete this job. Go out, run the application. We are back, and then we go to servers new. It's API service 2. Heads now and say https mvlabs.com. No, I can do Ashburn. API service 2. There was some logic here where I get multiple types. I'm gonna have to fix that. So MVV Labs. Come on, mvvlabs.com. Give it an SSH port. Create. Provision. Okay. API server. Okay, that one we don't care about. This one, API server 2. Primary IT limit exceeded. Okay. So that one is now retriable. So I guess I need to remove some of my Hessner servers. Primary IP limit exceeded. Vale. But if I go into app console, select queue from server provision steps. And then it retries, of course, and it fails with an error. All right, so first, this one should be updated so that it actually fails. And the queue here, is it on river queue? I can set the maximum amount of retries per max. Yeah. Max attempts. So no, this one goes on the job, right? Because then we only want to try it one time, and then deal with the error if there is an error. Yes. So what I do then is we delete this job. No, I can't delete the job. They will run. Yes, delete and get out of here. There we go. Kill the server. So we both need to do views, provisioning. There we go. Then we have no provision. Status. Where's the status? There we go. Right. Provisioning. Do we have any? Status. Right, so we need to have a string. Right, so we can call string. Oh my god, just call string. And then call string. And this one also, why is this not using the models? Use the ones from model layer. Do I then want to? I don't want to update, so I need to return this. Okay, and in views, this one, right? Okay, so it's just the provisioning form that we update. And I assume we have an ID. Provisioning. Yeah. So what we will simply just do, temple server provisioning failure. And then we're gonna target we should be able to do this. It has an ID, right? Do this, remove the button. What are we complaining about? We need another div, yes. And say error message, put it in here. Yeah. Go back to controller and around And if we then have a failure, server provisioning status. What did I call it? There we go. Where we just need the, don't need the server, right? We only need the error message. Okay. It's also just the string. This is gonna be a little complicated, but I need to move on this. Yes. Right. And here it will be latest error message. And for the rest of them, we are simply just gonna be returning. No, we are not. Yes, yes, yes. And what more? Yeah. Yeah. And error message. Then we return this into our run. Okay, and now I should just be able to create a server again and see the error because I have too many servers. Shouldn't really matter. A small one, yes, looks good. All right, and why are we not seeing any? Are we not? We are still getting the status. I am completely spamming myself here or what? What am I doing wrong here? So views, servers, server provisioning. Okay, and then we have form. Right. Provisioning status. So when we are ready for configuration, we return provisioning form. Okay. So something is happening. Slug. What was there? And why we can't send some request now? What the hell? Okay. Did I change this? So we have to keep open. mean, did I do something to the views? Only did this. So it's, but this one doesn't specify any, so what? We just sent this one action. Okay. Open codes. In view server. Causing. A lot of requests to be sent. It's related to server provisioning. Maybe the provision. What was the name? Work Mefront. There was status. Method on the controller, on the servers controller struct. All right, is that what caused the thing? Okay, that looks a lot more feasible. Work. This is, I need something with, let's go back to Trap Nation to get super hyped. Controllers and then status. So we are slug info. Status. It's cute. Okay. So we never get to but we should be. What does this? how can we not be in? This is the first thing we do. So a dual db no app console from server provision steps. Where attempts ID right, but our message that it had back was that it was find servers. And I'm an idiot. Server. No. It should find the right one, no? Select. Where, and then we say no. This is correct. Order by started sending limit 1. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that is definitely not correct. So this one gets query in which queries for server. Yes, models. So this one, the latest becomes step. Right. And now so we do get controllers, servers, status. Yeah. We did get. We also get number 2. So which element? Failure. Right. ID. Form. Revision form. Yes. Let's just try again. This shouldn't really happen. Controllers, servers, status. As long as we see number 2 and do not see number 3, this one should be good. And do a little run. API service, what are we on? 4th. And provision. Okay. So when we see 2, we only see 2, that's right. And I guess, why don't we just say servers? Failure, I don't need to do this. I can just say controllers, servers, status, do if. Like this. So run it. Move before? What are you talking about? Yeah, that makes sense. That means I can also do this. Go back to controllers, servers, status. And yes. Nice. This, of course, looks like crap. So view servers failure. It replaces form. What's this? I guess we just grab this. Yeah. And I guess the last thing I didn't copy was MX auto. Okay. So this one replaces this one. Something that looks decent. Nice. And then let me just servers, so failure. So we don't want a card within a cards. Or what? No. I don't know. Heading X 4. That's fine. And then this one. Both accesses will run. Okay. Yeah, I think I am going to say this is fine. I need to fix the clean up my servers. We're going for an hour more, and then this is basically the same process I need to go through with configuration. Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning N CO